working with wood.
He surprises little ones with his handmade toys.
Thank you very
All
much.
right.
Look at this, buddy. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Could this Concord man be the real Santa?
Thank you.
Hey, you're welcome.
Captain Tots, come by the workshop and meet New Hampshire's very own Sandy.
There you are.
Oh, well, thank you very
All
much.
right.
Look at this, buddy. Oh, check that out.
They're bathtub proof.
Awesome. Well, what do you say, Cole? Thank you.
Hey, you're welcome.
A child is surprised by the gift of a handmade toy tugboat given by a nice white-haired man who happens to do this fairly often. His name is Russ Page, but any similarities to a certain jolly man in red are merely coincidence.
I'm not Santa, no.
No, he's a retired Concord grandfather who makes and gives away wooden stuff year-round. He has put over 200 of his little tugs into little hands, leaving very thankful kids and parents in their wake.
One of the thank you notes I got was from a mother. It's sort of my favorite line, I think. She said, "Baby's bath is easier when the tug is in the tub." I loved it. So he asked me, why do I do it? That's why I do it. I'm helping. Okay. I'm mother's little helper.
Part of his inspiration is the tug of his basement workshop, where he turns out 10 or 20 tugboats at a time. He's refined the process. It's his own design, where he cuts bigger pieces of wood down to size. Then he sands away any sharp edges. He drills holes for the smokestacks, which he's made bigger over time so that little fingers can't get stuck in them. So all these pieces are cut out individually.
Yeah, and then the two white pieces are glued together. Then I glue them on the hull and drill the hole, and I peg them so that the roof is pegged right to the boat, and the boat is pegged to the deck.
He applies 2 coats of paint and 3 coats of polyurethane and signs and dates them. A friend told him he should because it's considered folk art.
I have an early example right here. This doesn't have a date on it. Don't know when this was made, but you can see this little difference in the color scheme. And so that was the beginning of this shape and this size. And it turned out children, babies, can hold on to it. They seem to be fascinated by the color and the feel of it. I just enjoy working with wood, and I've been building things for well over 50 years, and they're everywhere. And my daughter, Jill, says, just if it's made of wood and you want it, just tell Dad.
He and his wife, Gert, still use some of the furniture he made when they were first married, and he fiddled with wood all through his career as a salesman. Not just furniture, but half hulls and gondolas, fishing lures, and all manner of wooden toys, project after project.
I got into the tugboat thing because about maybe 15 years ago, a friend of my daughter's was having a baby, and then when he was, came along, I wanted to make him a toy, so I made him a tugboat. I've always been fascinated by tugboats, and particularly the Portsmouth, go down there all the time. And so then about 5 years later, I saw the boy's mother and said, "How'd that tugboat work out?" She said, "Well, it's his favorite toy." And then my grandson came along. That was the next step. My daughter and my grandson, Max. So I started building boats for him until he was overwhelmed. Now, this was made with the jackknife, saber saw, and a 1/4-inch drill and a lot of sandpaper. And it's pretty crude, but it does the trick. It does float. These are from Joanne Fabric. Those are portholes for covered buttons.
He didn't get the electric tools till about 8 years ago, but they sped up the process enough that he was making so many little tugboats, he needed to give them away to make room to make more.
I didn't put one in water until this year. I never did. They float. Yeah. And so I started handing them out to people with children and people that I knew, and then I started handing them out to people I didn't know.
Very much.
And
Well,
the thing
you
just
made
got,
this at your
so I carry them in the car now.
It might be while he's running an errand or waiting for his wife, but the gifting is spontaneous and not just at Christmas time.
But I give them away. I don't sell them or anything like that. It's just for the fun of it.
Thank you very much. I can tell you, you made this little guy say.
All right.
Do you say thanks, bud? I always do.
Yeah. Not all the kids that get boats are in good humor. Some days I see a mom with a couple of distressed kids on her hands, so I pop a couple of boats on them, change their mind. Let them think about something else. And they're pretty wide-eyed, you know. Oh, look at you, their eyes bug out. Who's this guy, you know? That can be intimidating, I guess. Yeah.
But the boats are.
The boats are. No, there we can connect.
It seems connecting is the real magic.
I get emotionally involved. It's a sensual experience, particularly the hulls of the sailing vessels. How do you know when the boat is done? You just run your hand over the hull. You know it's finished. I can feel it now talking about it. Yeah.
How about with your tugboats?
Same thing. Yeah, I've never sold them, and I've thought about it, and then I don't want to because it's going to take something away from what I'm doing.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
You want to open
I'm
it
sorry
and see
that
it
I
over
don't
here?
have more, but that's the end of it.
I know. Oh, thank you. Can you say thank you, guys? Thank you.
Hey, you're welcome.
That was so nice of that guy.
Joy, working with wood.
He surprises little ones with his handmade toys.
Thank you very
All
much.
right.
Look at this, buddy. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Could this Concord man be the real Santa?
Thank you.
Hey, you're welcome.
He lived in a shanty in utter squalor. But after he died, they got a big surprise. I'll tell you the story.
On the next New Hampshire Chronicle.
Tonight at 7:30.
The new Sox GMs from New Hampshire hear from their coaches tonight.
Tonight on Chronicle, this right jolly old elf surprises little ones with his handmade toys. Could this Concord man be the real Santa Claus?
Not all the kids that get boats are in good humor. Some days I see a mom with a couple of distressed kids on her hands, so I pop a couple of boats on them, change them.